Morning. Welcome to FishingLakeForkLive.com. Well, it's April 4th, and guess what? We got a March cold front that's come through, which March has been pretty mild. We've had a couple little cold fronts, but nothing to where, we dropped 20 or 30 degrees. Well, the 1st of April, it's happened. We're down in the 50s. The next 4 or 5 days, it's going to be in the 50s, maybe even get down in the 30s. But that's typical Texas weather. The other big key is today we've really got a big northeast wind, possibly 25 miles an hour. So finding places to fish on this lake when you got a 25-mile-an-hour wind sometimes can be really tough. The lake's so flat that the wind just kind of swirls around, so you really have to be careful on this lake. The biggest problem is getting in and out of places. There's so much timber in the lake that you get around that wood and the wind will actually pick you up and set you down on one of them stumps, and it might be hard to get off of. But anyway, here's what we're going to do today. We know where there's a lot of bedding fish. Hopefully they're going to stick around. Some of them will stick around, maybe not pull off. And we're going to go in there and kind of set up on these fish, take our time, fish slow, see what this cold front's done to them, and see if we can get some of these bigger females to bite. I'm fishing with a friend of mine today. He comes every year. He's got his son with him, and hopefully Tommy can catch him a big fish today. So we'll be back when we catch our first fish.
Atta boy. A little male. Good.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then.
Got him?
My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you
step up here, I see.
I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay, and he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's sure nice talking to you.
Good boy.
And as I hung up the
See,
phone,
you let that
it
thing sit
occurred
there,
to
look what
me
you did.
he'd grown up just like me.
Yep, you knew how
My
to change,
boy
didn't you?
was just like
Put that
me.
thing up here. Boy.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. We're gonna have a good time then.
Well, it's about 5:30 in the afternoon. We got off the lake. I'd like to thank my guys, Ron and his son Tommy. We had a great time. Tommy caught quite a few fish, got to reel in quite a few. Even though we had this cold front, we kind of got settled in some places. And, our best bite today was actually taking a little split shot and putting it up about a foot. And, most of our fish come off a lizard. It was slow. Just had to work it real slow. 2 or 3 fish we caught. Actually, some of the better fish we caught was you throw it up on a stump or stick up, and it'd just be sitting there, and you'd be looking off, and it might take 10 or 15 seconds, and fish would swim back up there and pick it up. But with the major cold front that come through, northeast winds, they blowed all day, probably 20 to 25 miles an hour, and we're expecting the same for the next 3 or 4 days. And this is April, not March, so hope you enjoy the show, and we'll see you tomorrow.